You're sitting in your car, finally catching a moment to breathe after a busy day. You pull up your banking app, and there it is, the all-too-familiar feeling of frustration. You've been working hard, putting in long hours, yet somehow, your money never seems to stretch far enough. You swipe through your recent transactions, each one a reminder of how quickly it all adds up. Sound familiar? If it does, you're not alone. Managing money feels like a constant battle for many of us. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be that way. With the right strategies, you can take control of your finances and finally stop wondering where your money goes. Ready to turn things around? This is Money Management Mastery. Let's get started. Before we get into the practical steps, let's start with something important: your mindset. I know, mindset talk can feel a bit fluffy, but this is where real change begins. Most people see money as something stressful, something that controls them. But the truth is, it's just a tool. It's not about how much you have, it's about how you think about it. Are you constantly worried about not having enough? Or do you feel guilty when you spend? These feelings keep you stuck in a cycle of financial anxiety. The first step toward mastering your money is shifting your mindset. Instead of letting money control you, start thinking of it as something you control. It's a tool to help you live the life you want, not something to fear or stress about. Once you make that mental shift, everything else gets a lot easier. Okay, now that you've got the right mindset, it's time to get practical. The next step is figuring out where your money is actually going. This can be a real eye-opener. Ever looked at your bank statement and thought, wait, how did I spend that much on takeout last month? You're not alone. Little things, like that daily coffee run, takeout dinners, or that random Amazon order, add up fast. And before you know it, a big chunk of your paycheck is gone. Here's what you need to do. For the next month, track every single expense. You can use a simple spreadsheet or an app. It doesn't have to be fancy. The goal is to see exactly where your money is going. And trust me, when you see it all laid out in front of you, you'll probably find a few surprises. Once you understand your spending habits, you're in a much better position to take control. Now that you know where your money's going, it's time to create a plan. Don't worry, this isn't about creating some strict budget that makes you give up everything fun. Let's be real, those kinds of budgets never last. Think of a budget as a roadmap. It's not about restrictions, it's about giving yourself control. You want to know that your bills are covered, that you're saving a little every month, and that you can still enjoy life without constantly stressing about money. Here's a simple way to break it down. Divide your income into 3 categories: needs, wants, and savings. Your needs are the essentials, like rent, groceries, and utilities. Your wants are the fun stuff, dining out, shopping, maybe even a little splurge here and there. And savings? That's you paying your future self. The trick is balance. You don't want to cut out all the fun, but you also don't want to overdo it on the wants. Set realistic goals and stick to them. This way, you'll know exactly how much you can spend without worrying. All right, let's talk about something that every financial expert agrees on: an emergency fund. Life is unpredictable. One minute, everything's fine, and the next, your car breaks down, or you've got a medical bill you didn't see coming. If you don't have a safety net, those things can throw your finances into chaos. An emergency fund is exactly what it sounds like. A stash of cash that's there for the unexpected. Start small. Even if it's just $20 a week, it adds up over time. The goal is to build up enough to cover 3 to 6 months of living expenses. It's not money for vacations or impulse buys. This is your financial safety net, so when life throws you a curveball, you can handle it without going into debt. Now let's talk about debt. If you're feeling overwhelmed by it, you're not alone. But the good news is, there's a strategy for paying it off that actually works. In fact, there are two popular ones, the snowball and avalanche methods. With the snowball method, you start by paying off your smallest debt first. It's all about those quick wins. Once that first debt is gone, you take the money you were paying on it and roll it into the next one, and so on. The motivation comes from seeing that debt shrink. The avalanche method, on the other hand, focuses on the highest interest debt first. It's not as emotionally satisfying as the snowball method, but it saves you more money in the long run since you're tackling the most expensive debt first. Whichever method you choose, the key is consistency. Keep chipping away at it, and eventually you'll see progress. Alright, now let's move on to the fun part, growing your money. Once you've got your spending under control, built an emergency fund, and started paying down your debt, it's time to think about the future. This is where saving and investing come into play. If your employer offers a 401k with a match, take advantage of it. It's essentially free money. After that, consider low-risk investments like index funds. They're diversified, meaning your money is spread across lots of companies, which reduces risk. Here's the cool part. The earlier you start, the better. That's thanks to compound interest. Over time, your money starts earning interest on the interest. It's one of the best ways to grow your wealth without constantly stressing about the stock market. Start small, stay consistent, and let your money work for you. Here's the final piece of the puzzle: consistency. Managing your money isn't about being perfect. It's about progress. You're not going to see huge changes overnight, but with small, steady steps, you'll start to see results. Stick to your budget, keep building your emergency fund, and stay on top of your debt. The more consistent you are, the more control you'll feel over your finances. And trust me, once you get in the habit, it's easier to keep going. Remember, financial mastery isn't just for the super rich or finance gurus. It's for anyone who's willing to take small, consistent steps. You've got this. Now it's your turn. Are you ready to take control of your money? Start with small changes, track your progress, and remember, you're in charge of your financial future. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe for more tips on leveling up your financial game. And remember, mastering your money is a journey, but with the right plan, you can achieve financial freedom.